Up next, can't find the speaker for the next session. I'm sorry. I think we're going to have to skip. The next session is titled, I am Tron, and I fight for the users. And other pop culture lessons for participating in the koha community. Presented by Nick Clemens, Sonic Screwdriver for ByWater Solutions. Give him a hand.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you. So this is more of a, hopefully, fun presentation for you guys. Just about some things that I wanted to say. So I don't know if everyone is familiar with the movie Tron. No. Okay. If you're not, just as a basic background. In the movie, the main character, he is trying to break into a computer system because the code that he wrote for a video game was stolen and hidden by this master control program, and he can't get the rights to it. And part of his attempts to break into that system are to build a computer program who is called Tron. Tron is designed to hack into the system and try to find information and free the information from the master control program. The movie gets very interesting when at one point, he ends up in the computer, and his program Tron becomes a real person who he watches fight. And so the big message I have, and this is mostly on the developer side, is it's kind of the mantra that I keep in my head whenever I'm working on koha, and that's be like Tron, fight for the users. That's really what we're all here to do. Any librarians, guys, any users of koha who are not developers, you're the ones that this whole software is for, and it's important to remember that. On the developer side, it's important for us to remember that generally what we're not doing is writing code or adding a feature. What we're doing is trying to make things better for the librarians and for the patrons. And it's important just to remember that. There have been times where I have been working on a project. And what happens is I get a spec, I see the spec, it says do A, B, and C. And I start to do A, B, and C. But I don't actually know what's going to happen with C. I know that I'm going to deliver this, it's going to do A, B, and C, but when it goes up to the community, sometimes QA will come back and will say, what's the purpose of this? And I'll say, I don't know. It does what it says. And so it's just more of a mindfulness that, as librarians, when a patron comes in and they say, what books do you have about clouds? You might stop and be like, you want a book about clouds? They're like, yeah, I need a book about clouds. And in the end, you talk to them for a few minutes and you find out, no, they're interested in abstract art. Clouds was their starting point. And it's that reference interview which leads you where you want to go. And so just kind of a point to the developers that to remember, we can have these reference interviews too, and that when we're looking at the code that we're writing, we should really understand not what we're trying to make it do, but what it's going to be used for, which may shape how it goes. Now, since I used Tron as a metaphor for all of that, I just wanted to follow up with something. QA is not master control. They're not your enemies. We are not fighting with QA to get our code in, and they are not fighting us to keep control of our code. We're working together. They're part of the process. So sometimes when the process does get frustrating, and it does, just remember that we're all a team, and that everything I'm saying is as true for the developers as it is for the QA team, as it is actually for the librarians when you're looking for a feature that you want from your patrons. So that's the part about the rest of this, I just wanted to give a few things. I started out as a librarian. I worked for the Open Consortium. Woo! Yeah. And while working with them, I got started to work on koha, and I entered the community. And I don't know if you can all tell right now, but I'm still terrified of most of you. And so in the very early stages of working in the community, I just wanted to give some advice to librarians who want to get involved and who want to be out there. So a lot of times, oh my God, it's you. Just the other day when we were getting ready to go out somewhere, we were all sitting around waiting, and Chris was not there yet. And Katrin was just like, well, just text him, just send him a Twitter message and he'll respond to you. And so I sent Chris a Twitter message. Then I was like, oh my God, Chris Cormack, he tweeted at me. And that's just because, you know, I've talked with him online, like I know who Chris is, but I haven't sat down and had a beer with him. I don't know him, you know. I don't want to say we're not friends, Chris, but we're not friends. And it's important to remember that when you join the community, a lot of the people feel like that. Like in the beginning, I would try to message Kyle or Tomas or all of these people, Jobu, and I would be amazed that they would answer me, because who was I? I was just somebody. It's important to remember, though, they're just people too. They're people like you. They're working on a job. You know, they're trying to get things done, and they want to help. And the real thing to remember too is that when you join the community, you may feel like this is you, but when you talk to someone in the community, this is what they see. Oh my God, it's a user who wants to join the community. They want to help us. So just remember that you are as excited as everyone else, and that they're all normal. And that's the real thing. Just being involved is important. You don't have to come in. We don't expect anyone to come to the community and to know what's going on. Koha is a huge project. There's a lot of us who've been working on it forever, and there are parts of it that I still don't understand. Please don't ask me questions about acquisitions. Sometimes, you know, you're going to get involved in these conversations, and you're going to understand everything. You're going to be there, and you're going to be like, yes, I can contribute to this, I understand, and that's when you'll feel comfortable, like, responding to questions or doing things like that. Sometimes people are going to say things, and you're just not going to make any sense of it. It's going to sound like either something that's a lie or just something that doesn't make any sense. And just remember that everybody feels that way sometimes, and it's okay to ask them for clarification. If you don't understand what a development is doing, maybe that development isn't doing the right thing. If you read a bug and you want to test it, you can't figure out what's going on with it, then maybe the problem's in the test plan. I'm not saying it necessarily is, because all of us developers are great, I love you all, but sometimes. The important thing to remember too is just always be nice. It's hard when you're working online, especially, you know, when two people know each other very well, they can say a lot of things to each other that are a joke to them, and other people might be really uncomfortable with. And so just as you're just developers, users, everyone, like, remember, be nice. With that said, if you want to give up, it's okay to make mistakes. We all do it. We all forget things. You apply a bug and you don't apply the dependencies. You miss step 4 of the test plan and everything goes wrong. It is definitely okay to make mistakes, and no one is going to, you know, see you make a mistake and say, you don't belong here. That's never going to happen. They're just going to say, oh, did you try this? The other thing is that if you sign off on a bug, you test a bug, and even if you write a bug, developers, even if you're QA, bugs will happen. It just does. You can never predict every way that everything's going to go, so just don't worry about it. You know, I used to feel very guilty. I'd sign off on something, and then QA would be like, this breaks everything else. And I'm like, oh, I didn't test everything else. There's a lot more. I could sit here all day and like pull movie quotes and have fun things and do things. But the real thing is just to look for your own inspiration out there in the community, find your own ways to do that, and just remember that we want you involved. And finally, be excellent to each other. I don't know what you would have questions about, but are there questions? What's that?
Did you ever watch Star Trek?
As I said, I couldn't represent everything here. I did my best. Yeah?